This is 4.2, Lesson 2. This is on Principles of the Constitution 1 through 4. So your success criteria is I will be able to explain the principles in the Constitution. So again, we're getting kind of into the actual words in the Constitution and explaining what it means. And for this lesson, it's not so much the exact words, but the principles that are in the Constitution. So a principle is like a fundamental truth or the foundation of something. Okay, so really we're looking at like the foundation of the Constitution. What are some of the fundamental truths that are in the Constitution? So these are more like ideas, basic ideas that are in the Constitution. Okay, so today we're just going to look at 1 through 4. There is 7 total principles that we're going to look at, but for lesson 2, you're just going to look at 1 through 4. So let's start off with popular sovereignty. Okay, so popular sovereignty, this means that the government is subject to the will of the people. Okay? The people are in charge of the government. Remember that phrase from the preamble, we the people? That phrase right there basically is popular sovereignty. So if you break down this phrasing, popular, so it has to do with like people, right? Population has to do with people. So that word popular has to do with people. Sovereignty, that is like a country's right to govern or someone's right to govern themselves, okay? So when you put those words together, popular sovereignty, you're looking at, so the power to govern lies with the people. Popular sovereignty, okay? So that's popular sovereignty, is that idea that the people are in charge. Not a king. We don't want a king anymore, but the people are in charge of governing. That's popular sovereignty. So when you hear popular, think of people. Okay, second principle that is in the Constitution is that we have a republican form of government. When I say Republican, I don't mean the political party. Okay, the root word of that is republic. So we are a republic. I remember hearing a commercial on the radio about some school, and they were like talking about, they were going through and asking people, what kind of government is the United States? And all these people would say, a democracy. And then they would get to this student from this school that they were advertising and ask them, and they would say, well, we're a republic. Okay, so that's true. And we even teach you that in public school too, which is cool. So, republic, we're a republic. A republic, what is it? So, a republic is a government where the people rule through their elected representatives. Okay, so the people rule, remember popular sovereignty, but they do it through elected representatives. They vote for people to represent them and to make decisions. They don't necessarily make all the decisions themselves, all the people. Okay? They vote for people to make those decisions. Sometimes you'll hear representative democracy. That means essentially the same thing. In the Pledge of Allegiance, it says in there, and to the republic for which it stands. So if someone asks you what type of government is the United States, you could respond, a republic. All right, we'll talk more about that as we go. Third principle here is limited government. So that means that government is not all powerful. Okay, government is limited. Its powers are limited, and the powers that it does have is strictly defined. Okay, and it cannot go beyond those powers that it's given. A limited government has only the powers that are given to it by the people. Okay, You maybe have seen this flag around, "Don't tread on me." Essentially, what people are saying is government should not like get up in my grill. The government should not kind of influence me in ways that it shouldn't. It should only do those things that it has been given permission to do. That's a limited government. Fourth principle, federalism. Federalism. Now we've talked a little bit about like Federalists, right? People who supported the Constitution. This is a little bit different, kind of. But what it means, federalism, it means that the federal government and the state government share power. Okay? So some powers are reserved for the federal government. Those are known as enumerated powers. Some powers are reserved for the states. Those are called reserved powers. And some powers are shared between the federal government and the state. Those are known as concurrent powers. If you think back to the Constitutional Convention that we learned about, a lot of the debate was about giving states power, right? Some people did not want to get rid of the Articles of Confederation because it gave the states a lot of power. And now these Federalists were wanting to give more power to the federal government. And so in our Constitution, we have this idea where some states are for the federal government, or some power, I should say, are for the federal government, and some power are for the states. So they share power. And that whole idea is known as federalism. So those are the first 4 principles that you will find in the Constitution. And you should see those in play as we get more into the actual wording of the Constitution.